Oh, sorry, early drink there. Good evening. Welcome to hang out in the crib with your Battle Pirates crib crew. I'm the BP Professor, and I'm joined by Hefe.
Howdy, everybody.
And Grimace.
What's up, guys?
And Olsh.
Hope everyone's having a good day.
All right, and today I'm drinking New Belgium Day Blazer for the day drinker in all of us.
The Day Blazer. What kind of beer is that?
It's an easygoing ale. Little citrus
okay,
and
so I guess it
flowery
is
kind of. Yeah, sure.
It is a day drinking beer. I was wondering when somebody was going to break into that market.
Well, it's New Belgium for you. Not content with their fat tire, they're going after a new market. The less athletic people and who want to just sit around and drink all day instead of ride a large weird tricycle.
Wasn't that like the way Coors Light was sort of, like you go out and early on you go out and you go out and take a run and then you go drink a six pack?
Oh no.
Okay. Yes.
Is that Michelob Ultra that they're trying to? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right, enough beer talk. Let's talk Battle Pirates. Lots of new FM stuff this week, so we'll get into that, and we'll get into some post-raid stuff and some FM stuff. So, did I do that right? Hey, I did that right. All right, let's get busy. First, the bug fixes. Both of the bugs were related to the event, so nice that they tell us about them now. So I think day one of the event, everybody had big lag, and they claimed to have found and fixed it.
By upping the damage. I think that's what did it.
Too low damage caused lag?
Not enough damage in the A set. So once they got rid of the lag, they upped the damage. At least there appears to be at least stepwise some sort of logic in that, but maybe that wasn't the case.
And they upped the incentive for hitting the camps by giving you more points.
Well, they did that for like a limited time at the beginning, and then they put it back.
Right, but it was supposed to be like, hey, sorry for the lag, here's some extra points for you. But it wasn't really to everyone.
Yeah, that's true, right? It was only helping the people who could hit the campaigns. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at the same time, they were upping the damage. They were really pushing people towards the campaign, I think is what Grimace is saying, by doing both.
Yeah,
but the next slide is actually our free-for-all on Butcher's Bay. So...
All right, we'll save that. And then fix an issue where one of the event targets had a double turret placement. I don't know which target it was or what. I've seen people complaining about that somewhere, but I couldn't give you specifics.
I'm pretty sure
it was like a dead target or a live target on top of a dead target. I'm not sure if it impacted the game, but people did like to complain about it.
Okay.
Or I just saw it that way. Maybe I saw one was dead and one was alive when they took pictures. But, yeah. I'm glad they fixed that.
All right. Well, let's talk Butcher's Bay, since that's where all the bugs were, and there's nothing left to fix. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, since I had both my fleets done, I was able to get over 400 million for 0 coin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes I spend a couple coin at the beginning figuring stuff out. I really didn't even have to do that. I could do 3 or 4 Hydra targets and then repair my flag, or I could do like 6 or 7 Buccaneer targets and repair my flag. So I just kind of spread out my playing over the time and spent 0 coin.
Yeah, I got, I think, a little over 470. Only had my Hydras built, didn't spend any coins. But I got most of the points in the first 24, 36 hours hitting A sets. I did have some minor issues with the A set, one time. I was in the 83, and it didn't even take that long, and it just came back completely dead. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but that's been a problem that's been reported a couple of times. I didn't have any documentation on it as far as exactly what just outright killed my hydro fleet for no reason in '83. But otherwise, it was okay. I still I thought it was about over. I might have pushed a little harder on the first day. But yeah, they doubled the number of raid points that we needed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought I was done after the first day, and surprise.
Yeah, that's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because on one hand, you say, well, they doubled the points you need, but on the other hand, it's like, well, I really appreciated those Inferno Dragon tokens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think I took the Chameleon tokens just because I'm not sure about that ship, so I took them anyway just to have. But yeah, it did make the point total. Like my point total was more than double than what I had originally planned on getting for the raid.
Yeah, same here. And I built a Chameleon and well, I haven't finished a CR Prime yet, but yeah.
And I mean, it's all optional. So
yeah. I mean,
Has
anybody actually talk about the Chameleon? Has anybody actually engaged the generalist targets, or is there one target? Is there multiple targets? What's going on with that?
I think it's multiple targets, and I've tried it twice, and I have died a horrendously terrible death. But I only have 2 ships, so.
Okay, so I won't try them with one.
Probably not going to want to do that.
I'm curious if they're different. I'm curious if there is the titanium one different than the uranium one, different than the base parts one. Do we need to build 3 different fleets? Do we need to build one fleet?
One fleet should do all of the generalist expeditions.
I think the biggest problem with the generalist, well, with the Chameleon, is you can only put 4 armor slots, right? So you can only put 4 charged armors on, and then they have these chaos weapons, is what we have been told. Yeah. So the 2 damage types you don't have charge against are going to rip you up.
Maybe.
I tried.
My preliminary design. My preliminary design has like compound 6A, reflective coating 4. So we've got explosive, ballistic, penetrative, and then we got radioactive and evade. And then putting on a hydraulic resistor gives you some concussive. And then I put on, at least I haven't used it, but my idea is, and then I put 3 small corrosive panels on, and then 1 concussive, and everything's about, I don't know, it's all pretty much mishmash in the middle, like from 50 to 70% against everything once I did it that way.
Yeah,
because once you put the Hawkers on, the Hawkers had +3% across the board.
I went with the hydraulic resistors and then the heavy plating, and then I went with 2 COs and 2 CT charged plates.
Didn't work for you.
Not with just 2.
Well, you only had 2 ships that weren't ranked.
Well, you know what? We're going to get to this new armor in the FM. I wonder if there's going to be more combos like that. Maybe that's what you need, so you can get some charge on everything.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
Ren's telling us the new explosive special for the ID sucks. FYI. So when we get to that, we can.
Yeah, I got words about that too. I'm gonna tell you.
That split armor, I had the same thought about that, but the ships are out and people are building them. If we don't have all the tools that we need already, that's kind of worrisome, because then you're building fleets that you're going to have to refit.
Yeah,
we'll get to that one.
The thing I'm thinking with this chameleon tokens is it's Kixeye's devious plan to have the high-end players who can afford to get all those tokens build some chameleons and then show the other players, hey, I can do stuff with chameleons, and then they're going to want to build them. Except
They suck.
mean, they still suck. Yeah. Right. Okay. Anything else about the event?
Does everybody have their hydras done? And do you think with the push to have the dragons done in time, will you have your hydras done by the end of this?
If I have to refit these fucking dragons like I'm doing right now, maybe not. I don't know.
All right, well let's keep going. We'll talk about the FM and those fucking dragons. You know.
Fucking Larry.
Hey man, I'm just trying to keep us on topic. We'll get there, George. Don't worry.
You know the foul language. The foul language. That's what we don't let them on the Friday night show.
I know, man.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Larry and Larry.
I didn't start with the fucking dragons. George started with the fucking dragons.
It's just funnier when you say it. We're used to coming off George's mouth, but yeah.
All right.
Because last me and Grimace were talking about. I wanted to call that. I wanted you, if you were going to be on the last Wednesday's show, I wanted you to call the Hydra. The Howie a turret the whole time, because we know how that is.
Yeah, that would have annoyed me.
Well, and I eventually had to say it, but I thought it was going to be funnier coming out of you because
it would have been.
You put the N in there because it's nasty. So, and it really annoyed Rum Runner. So yeah. But let's move on, I guess.
All right, VXP weekend this weekend. It is literally the same as last time. The only thing I had to do to this slide from the last slide that was VXP weekend is I changed the 2 to a 3 from February to March. So I think that's about all to say about VXP weekend. Yeah?
Yeah, does anybody know how many points it requires to rank up your chameleon?
Hell if I know.
I didn't think anybody would know that.
I mean, yeah. Should we call them shitty chameleons? If they're going to be fucking dragons, can we say shitty chameleons?
I may have used a C instead for some alliteration right there, but you know.
Well, we try to keep it at least suitable for mixed company. Because I built my Prime. I didn't finish it yet, but I'm not going to coin repairs during VXP weekend on those chameleons. There's no way.
No.
All right. Forsaken mission target transition. The initial word was that 115s would be gone starting this time. Kixeye relented after hearing wailing and gnashing and probably people saying words like fucking and shitty. So what they're doing instead is they're phasing him out by reducing the points, which is all right. Now, when I was making this slide last night, I prefaced the words at the bottom with Kixeye says, because I had my suspicions, and word from I'm hearing so far today, my suspicions are, I think, founded. So the 115 points are ramping down, as you can see. The 112 is worth 300,000, like the 115s used to be. And then they said the 112s were doable by Inferno Dragons, or fully ranked retro-equipped Visago Icebreaker fleet, or fully ranked retro-equipped Zealous Mono fleets. I'm seeing lots of people calling bullshit on those second two options. Second of the two of the three options. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. There was a re-release. They pulled them all off the map and put them back. I'm not sure what the reaction is afterwards, because they were doing more damage to the dragons than the 117 when they were released.
Oh wow.
When did they test that stuff? I
I
have no idea.
I don't know. So I have 3 Inferno Dragons built, and actually, why don't we go to the 112 picture? So I have 3 of the Inferno Dragons built, and I've done 2 of these 112s with them, and I was able to do them for like 50 minutes damage on my fleet on my second run. I started down here at the bottom and went around and then went inside. I don't know if you guys have tried these with any fleet yet.
I have not tried them yet. I've been testing the new explosive special in the 117s.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know.
Anyone else? Any
Nope.
word on the 112?
No, I only went in with a gunboat to take this picture, and I not.
Okay.
It appears to be loaded with cold snaps and has less mortars than the other one, but beyond that, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like I could, with my 3, again, just 3 ships done. I felt like I was able to shoot down most of the mortars and all the cold snaps. So, I with Inferno Dragons, I didn't think this was too bad. I didn't get a chance to try my icebreakers or zealous mono fleets. If you ask me nicely during the after show, maybe I'll do it.
I think what I'm hearing from people that are trying the monos and the icebreakers, especially the folks that are trying the 2 mono and the 2 zealous mono fleets, the little green booger missile is in this thing, and it is just wreaking havoc on a lot of those ships. So,
okay. Believe it.
The other issue that I've been seeing people bitch about is that they all share the spawn points together. So it's increasingly hard to find targets that you can hit without clearing out the other targets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I haven't.
So like, there's a lot of 117s, there's a lot of 112s when they were out, and the 115s and maybe even the 111s weren't as popular because they were getting hit and then they were repopulating with the other targets.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in my sector for hours, I didn't see a 111 or a 115.
And they've done this a few times like that, and people get upset and cry about it, and then they adjust something and it works better for a while, and then they do it again, and they just keep doing it.
Well, they just keep on forgetting. I mean, it's like
it's so weird because I think the fix is they call it reap, right? And they have reap time where a target will spawn, and then after a while it blows itself up if it doesn't get hit.
Yeah, because I think the default is 8 hours, and then I think they lowered it to 3 last time when this issue occurred. I just hope they do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, but the person in charge of that, needs to go through some Alzheimer's testing.
I mean, this has been a problem for Kixeye for years. Anytime they have this multiple targets at the same spawn point, it always happens. People like one target better, and then the one that people don't like builds up.
Yep.
They should know it. All right. The other thing,
it's like MRSA.
Yeah. The other thing about this FM, now that I have some dragons built, some fucking dragons built, is my 3 dragons were able to auto a 111 for 5 minutes repair. So I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if people have been having the same experience, but
I was having a little bit of fun with my dragons that are partially built going through the 103s because that fire ring kills stuff that's under, that's still shrouded.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, well, this isn't going to be good because all those ships are just going to come right at me. But
I didn't think about that.
But you do, yeah. Because now there's nothing slowing them down, so they're not taking any damage. So I just ran to the end because I didn't, they're partially built. They don't have phalanxes or whatnot. So I just ran to the end of the map and I got the full points and didn't kill one ship. The ships don't appear to be worth anything. So I got the 80 80,000 without denting a ship. So
Interesting.
for future notice, those ships aren't worth anything, and the ships in the 115s aren't worth anything either. So it's odd how the points are they aren't worth anything, but yeah,
They're not worth anything, but they can damage the hell out of you if you let them.
yeah, yep, very true.
Okay, are we done talking about the FM and well, we can talk about your fun with those fucking dragons and the new special when we get to that slide, George. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else on the FM then?
Besides the fact there's not enough 115s and 111s, that's about it.
Okay. So let's talk about the new FM prizes. The first one, which we all were waiting for, is the Hydra escalation weapon. So we went from the D116S to the D117S. The thing I noticed about this is it's a little different than, most of the escalation weapons have been increase the weight and then increase the damage per hit, but DPS is pretty close to the same. This one, they kept the same weight. They're both 800 tons, but they've increased the damage. So one extra multi-shot, more damage per shot, and then a lot more building damage as well. I was doing this last night, and it looked like the build time was 0. I don't know if they fixed that.
It's still today. I don't know if anybody has won it, but if you, I haven't won it yet. But when I put it in the shipyard and tried to equip it, it did not add any build time.
All right,
I mean,
so
this could be a great thing, or it could be a fuck up.
Okay, so yeah.
We'll go with great thing for now. How's that?
All right, maybe I'm gonna get off the show and get going on my FM again. If you don't.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on because it's like I put it on something and it's like 0 seconds, are added. And, 0 seconds, 0 minutes. So there's nothing added when you put this on. So
okay,
it's probably another visual error because there's still visual errors with some research technologies that doesn't show the proper times, which they still need to fix that they've known about for a few weeks.
I think the politically correct term is graphical error. That's the one that they like to use.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's been around for a while now, so on multiple items. But
okay, somebody says it's fixed. Anybody out in the in YouTube chat has? Do we know what the? Because I when I checked this, it wasn't that long ago. It was only a few hours ago, and there was no build time associated with the Hydra escalation weapon, and I assumed it because I did not own it.
Yeah, I'm restarting the game again, so I'll see if I can get it.
let me check.
Okay. I mean, it's interesting they upped the multi-shot by 1. It's it doesn't increase the damage as much when you add a multi-shot special. The damage increase is not as large, but it's also more likely to create a shockwave.
Yep, that's it right there.
All right, so it's still 0 when I'm in design mode in the shipyard.
Okay.
Just here.
So, well, maybe everybody should go out there and win it now, and
there you go. Yeah,
all your ships for 0 time.
Yeah, this long ship with a new D117 is still 8.5 minutes. So
we'll put on the gunboat because the gunboat has no build time. So that's how I usually do my testing.
That's such a good idea.
The gunboat has no build time, and so it just shows. That's how I always do it on the show. What? Yeah, it still says 0. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna see if I can auto some more 111s while the show's going on.
All right.
I'm attempting to auto.
It seems like a no-brainer for somebody that has not, put on the D116s.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Is it worth the swap though?
Well, you know, it all depends on build time. At 0 build time, definitely. And you know, it's more DPS, so it is really just a matter of build time.
I mean, if it was logically following all the other build times, so it would be, more than the other weapon most likely, would it still be something you'd want to swap out?
So I have 19 days of Hydra tokens sitting around, so
Right.
I was gonna do those. You know, I would say that. Oh, whoops. See, I can't auto and. I would say that, like, in the Hydra campaign, my fleet was not like sitting around pinging away. Right? It was killing turrets with basically a volley. So it wasn't like I needed more DPS. Like the Buckies really benefited from more DPS from the escalation weapon. But I don't know that the Hydras are really going to benefit so much unless they crank up the health on the turrets, which they ought.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I think that extra multi-shot and that shockwave increase in shockwave damage might be a telltale sign.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for the last raid, I don't think the DPS would have helped, but who knows what they're doing next time.
Yeah, because if you look at the percentages, it's a huge bump.
Yeah.
Because we're only dealing with building damage. So we go from 11.5 as a base to 17K. It's a huge bump in damage. It's way higher than what we normally see.
Yeah.
So I would say yes. I mean, unless, what Larry's talking about is I was killing him on volley before. Why do I need to change it? And then the counterpoint was, okay, well, what happens if they change the armor on them? And then it makes sense.
Now, the other thing
it sort
is,
of foretells that they're going to change things.
Yeah, and the other thing is I've got 4 Hydras built with the capacitor CIC, so I'm kind of max damage on those. If you're using more of the Aegis CIC, maybe you do need the DPS.
Good point.
Okay, let's keep rolling. And then here's the Hydra escalation special. Gives you combat speed, bump in your supercharge, and shockwave damage. So again, other than the combat speed, this wouldn't have helped me last raid because I wasn't depending on the supercharge to kill anything. I noticed that it stacks with the multiplex charge doubler, which was the original special released, and this gives you the multi-shot, which this launcher system does not. So, yeah, I'm not so sure about this. Again, maybe we're going to see something next raid where you really need that supercharge.
And on top of it, where it stacks with that multiplex, and that multiplex has the shockwave damage increase as well. I don't know. I'm very leery of ignoring this one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you definitely want to get it because that ×6 supercharge and then ×6 launcher supercharge, that can be used in other applications as well.
Yep. But the fact that the shockwave damage of 40 and 30 both can stack with one another, on top of the extra multi-shot and on top of this special, I just,
Yeah. I mean, people with, lower levels that still are using radon throwers and things like that, this might be useful. Or radon slingers, slingers.
Yeah.
Where you're putting the supercharge and then the shockwave damage way up. It looks interesting. It looks like it could be one of those ones that has multiple applications.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at my Hydra build, and I think I wanted to replace. What did I want to replace? I'm loading it up. Because I was looking at replacing Autoloader 4. That gives me the reload bonus. because then I'll get so many more shock waves, right? And again, since I'm basically killing the stuff with one volley, I'm not so dependent on the reload. Well, in some situations, it came in handy. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll be good.
Yeah. I mean, because basically, we're sort of namby-pamby on some of these specials related to the Hydra escalation because, again, we have not seen the target. And so if you're doing well in the current target, does not indicate future success in those targets because we know that they'll escalate the armor or the damage that they do. So killing things quicker and getting to them quicker may be more advantageous than we've seen through what's happened previous.
Yeah. I mean, because my observation with my Hydras is the only thing that was damaging my Hydras were those long range cannons, because I was countermeasuring everything else. And so getting to them quicker, because usually those cannons would get 2 shots in. So if I can get in quicker and kill them before they get 2 shots in, that actually would be helpful, cutting my damage. Okay, well, let's keep rolling.
Alrighty.
A new charged armor, and so this is not limited, and this is a first for charged armor, so hooray for that. So you've got it's C1CR, and it has radioactive and ballistic reduction. Now the pool and the damage reduction are 1/4 that of the limited versions. So 3,000 damage reduction versus 12,000, and then 1/4 of the pool. And now you can increase your pool by stacking multiple of these, but you can't increase your damage reduction.
Well, you can if you use one of the original plates on the hull. It uses the highest. Yeah, if you have, say, 3 of these and you have a C1C or a C1R, it'll use that value for the reduction.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Let's test that one out, because that's why I put a block around the 3,000, is because
I asked about that. I asked about that the minute it came out, because I was like, what happens when you have both of these on? And that's what I was told.
Well, but it displays as 3,000. It displays as 3,000.
I know it displays as 3,000.
Oh, why the fuck we play this game until they get the fucking blueprints right? I mean, this is exactly why I get mad. I mean, they show fucking bullshit in the blueprints in the shipyards. And
right,
then, and they rely on you to tell us in a show and whatnot. Why don't they get it right the first fucking time? This is the kind of crap that just drives me crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't know that
we can't rely on strategy in the game. We can't rely on the communication from Kickside to explain things. This is the kind of crap that just drives me fucking crazy as far as the way they do things. Act like it's a fucking puzzle by giving us misinformation. This is not the way you fucking run a game. I mean, the fact that I look at the shipyard and it says it reduces it from 12,000 down to 3,000, so I think that's what it is. So we got to watch these penny ante shows on YouTube because they won't fucking do the QA to fucking figure it out and inform the players properly. This is the kind of shit that just drives me crazy.
Hold on. And it drives everybody nuts. They should have the stat block correct. Everyone agrees with that shit. The only reason I know is because I actually, like, in my head when I saw it, before it came out, before I could even plug it into the shipyard, I was like, hey, what the fuck happens when you do this? And I asked. I just happened to catch someone to get the answer. It wasn't like they were relying on me to get the information out. It just was a curiosity question that I happened to ask.
No, but what I'm saying, why don't they get it right when they put it out?
Because
I tested that right away when I saw it too, but nobody's answering my fucking questions, or anybody else's questions. I'm saying, why don't they communicate this properly? Why don't we know that the stacking associated with your towers, or your fire supports as multiplicative and not additive because they show us additive. Why don't they fucking get this shit right? I mean, this is the kind of shit that drives me crazy because this is a strategy game and they give us false information fucking consistently across the board. And this is more of it. And it pisses me off because it's supposed to be a strategy game, not coin it and fucking figure it out yourself because we're too lazy to do it, or we think this is part of the fucking game.
Hefe, have you ever been lied to before?
But they keep in. I mean, what's? I don't like it.
I had a high school history teacher who that
Oh,
Oh yeah. No, I mean, look, you're right, and the blueprints ought to be right, and yeah, it's
the
frustrating.
display should be as well. I mean, all of it should. I mean, that's kind of. I think we all agree on that one.
Yep.
Well, and it kind of seems like this is another way of complicating things when things were supposed to be getting easier.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at some of the stuff, that's coming out right now, not just these armors, but some of the other stuff, there's a lot of complicated stuff coming out again. All of a sudden, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the thing is they made the actual items not that complicated to go through. I think the problem is the interaction between everything gets very complex, and
Yes,
there's no resource for players to go and check. There's no FAQ on the forums to go and go, hey, has this been asked? Can I search? Because if you try and search the forums, I mean, Lord help you. I mean, I don't know. There's no repository for players to go to get the information that they need. There's no place that you can go and find, like, if there's an error, like this error right now is showing in the shipyard, and say someone posts up one of the mods or the CM posts up what it really should be, right? But then it never gets fixed, and then that answer disappears somewhere into the ether of the forums. There's no way to go and find this information. You have to rely on other people.
Yeah. And not every player is engaged with the community, and so they never get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Two good things about this armor that we didn't mention. The build time is lower. And then the other thing I noticed is that you get the full defense percentage, that 18% defense percentage against both.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So if you use 4 of these versus 2 C1Cs and 2 C1Rs, you actually end up with higher defense percentage. Now you'd rather have more damage reduction, but it's a trade-off.
It's funny because if you noticed in the Buck S target in the last raid.
Oh yeah, they had that.
The resistances were of more import than the actual charge because you lost the charge halfway through the fucking target.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you want to change these to get that higher defense.
I wouldn't.
I mean,
I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, because you're going to take all that extra damage because you have your pool so low. Even without it, but I mean, you were running half the target without a pool, and I did phenomenal when I put a demo on. So if I get if it looks like it's relying back more onto resistances rather than the charged armor, which is what I'm finding in the FM targets as well. But okay, but let's just think about it. Your pool of ballistic charge is going to be, instead of let's just say 4 of these versus 2 and 2, right? So instead of having 500,000 plus pool, you're going to have 250,000 pool. So that 250,000 is going to be damage you take, and reduced by your resistance, but still, it's a lot of damage. Even 25,000. Yeah, I don't know how they. I hesitate to put a tinfoil hat on, but I don't know how it's actually working through, because I saw someone sent me a couple of clips of the FM today. Actually, it was the 112s, and they were trying to figure out how in the hell they got down to like 90% health,
but their charge was still like 90% full, and everything was running on the resistances. I don't know if there's weapons that bypass that or not. I don't know if they have some sort of amount of damage that's going and doing X amount and going right to resistance. I'm like, I don't know how the hell they tune the targets, but there's some very interesting results that players are coming up with, that it just seems right now that it's leaning much more heavily towards the damn resistances. And we've been sold these charged armors, and hell, I don't want to refit my Buckies yet again. I mean,
I would not. I absolutely would not. All right. We ready to move on from this?
Yeah, I'm on.
All right.
Well, let's have George go through. So I rudely interrupted George. How is this fucking thing supposed to work?
Which the lowered this one?
No, the previous one. How is the damage reduction supposed to work if you are combining the new armor, the C1CR, with the older C1Cs and C1Rs?
Oh, you didn't interrupt me. I had said it uses the larger of the two values.
Supposed to, but the shipyard doesn't show that.
The shipyard does not show that. Shipyard shows the 3000 instead.
I was just making sure everybody watching got that message.
No, yeah, I got that out before your epic rant. No, we're fine.
Okay. All right, let's go.
All right. Speaking of epic rants, George, would you like to talk about the lowered explosive mount that reduces your range?
So this actually, I had a chance to. I was in between a couple things I was doing this morning. I got a chance to get on the FM. I got this right away, refit with the tokens that I got out of the raid, and went through and ran through a couple of 117s, and I was getting a consistent 24 to 28 minutes. I was psyched. I was like, this is freaking awesome, because I wasn't stopping for anything. I was just barreling down the sides, popping inside to loop through like I did in the every other time in the video and all that other crap. And I was kind of happy. And then I went out and I had to do a couple of things, came back a few hours later. And in testing, I don't know if I don't know if I want to put on the tinfoil hat or not, but I'm now taking 35 to 50 minutes of damage for the same driving, the same fleet, the same everything. And I'm not sure that I hesitate to say that they're messing with that target, but 20 minutes damage is noticeable, right? So that was
you have
really
it on
interesting.
you have it on all the ships, right?
Yes. Yeah, I took explosive system 4 off of my build. I kept the narrowed firing aperture, and I put this in place of the explosive system 4. And then I just while we're on the show, I actually tried doing the 117 on auto, just for shits and giggles, and I got like an hour and 24 minutes of damage on full auto. I just let it go. So this is why I was saying the resistances. It seems like they're going back to relying on high resistances to lower your damage, and and the thing is too, also using this and the way that you have to kill or give up a special for it, it kind of lends itself towards using the 5th hull, and I really don't want to, but I think that's what this kind of leans towards, and I'm certainly not going to refit back to find out what the difference in the target is now. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that's just the problem. They release it at this point in time. It's potentially a suboptimal special, so it's going to take you 5 days of just shy of 5 days of build time to experiment, right? 20 hours each. 20 hours each, and taking off the other special. It's going to take you about 4 or 5 days in order to run this experiment.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was.
Thank you, George.
23. I think it was 23 hours on for the explosive system 4 to go to this one. And like I said, at this morning, I was really psyched. I was like 24 minutes, 20. I have a video of a 26-minute run, and I'm like, hot damn! I was driving like complete ass. I looped around by accident. I was a complete disaster of a run, and I still came out with 24 minutes of damage or 26 minutes of damage. I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. And this morning it was great. I was thrilled. And then I came back this afternoon and I was like, what the hell's going on? The first run I did was like 50 minutes of damage. I'm like, what the hell? Like twice the damage? So I have no idea what's going on now.
Okay. Garrison CIC for the chameleon. Do not build chameleons to do the FM. I don't know what else to say about this. Right?
Yep, I agree.
Okay. Should we move on?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, it comes back to a question it comes back to a question earlier that we had.
Yes,
Is-
FA.
Are all the targets the same? Are all the targets for the expedition the same?
Well, there's no garrison
I mean,
expedition anyway.
yeah. So okay. So this is just a token blocker.
Or it's a trap. I mean, build them
Yeah,
for
one of
the FM. Yeah, no, don't.
All right.
Okay.
New rocket for Conquerors. Here you go. L100-CT. I guess the CT probably refers to concussive deflection. So I wonder if there's going to be other versions that give you other deflections, which is kind of interesting. But I compared this to the 2XQ mortar. Obviously, this thing has to go through walls, but the big difference, it's the same weight. You end up with similar range, I think. Well, you've got the same base range. So then the 2XQ has more damage per hit, but with a reload time of 1, you're going to be putting out a lot of rockets. So
yeah,
I'm actually working on some onslaughts now. One of them's got the mortars, but if I do a second one, I might do these rockets. Give them a shot.
I was surprised it didn't have a +5, or plus. I'm surprised it didn't have a combat speed boost.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
each one of these the 2XQ gives penetrative deflection. Does it not? I can't see on this thing.
They both give
Yeah.
concussive.
They give the exact same amount of concussive too.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I had the same question earlier today. I had to look it up.
And then the missile does explosive, right? Is that the deflection it gives?
Yes.
Yeah. So it seems like they're doing the little piecemeal. Let's fill your toolbox up. The problem is it's going to take so long to get the toolbox to the point where there's balance.
Yeah. Yep.
And again, if they do it too fast, it's also a problem because everybody's like, if they drop it, if it was like one big drop, that would make sense.
I would have.
They did it all at once because now people are building. They'll build this for a week, and then, oh shit, I fucked up. Now I'm building this for a week, and I'm going back and forth without having a roadmap on how this is going to work out.
And that's what I was going to say. I wish they had put this out so that at the beginning of this whole rebalance, reset, whatever the hell it is, to give us like a tree and go, you know what? You can pick one thing out of the tree, right? This month in bounty, you can pick one hull and one weapon and one special, right? But we could see all of them. So we have an idea of what the hell is going on and where we're going instead of this crazy ass swing every 2 damn weeks or shit, the 6 days or 7 days or however long we had the Howie for. I mean, damn.
Yeah, speaking of, let's go to the next slide, eh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm on.
So we had this howitzer that does a whole lot of damage, including like having a critical hit will one-shot a tier 7 conqueror.
Well, a tier 6 point, it'll one shot a boulder fist. Boulder fist It has the highest ballistic deflection. It came really. I had some guy hit me with a missile storm cruiser last night, and I'm not sure if it was one shot, but it was close to it. He died really quickly as soon as he got in range. But the Boulder Fist is 6.5, 6.75, but it has the highest ballistic deflection of base that we've seen before, and so it's interesting. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. All right, so this is the another plate armor that we've been seeing them for the Conquerors. So the Compound 5 and the D6U have had 3 deflections at 64K. This one only has penetrative and ballistic, but it has really high penetrative and ballistic. And we were trying to do some numbers to compare them to the amount of damage you can do with the new howitzer and the new executioner. There should be an executioner too, not a 4. But anyway, the point is, the howitzer. So over here on the bottom, I showed what you can get to, and that's a missile storm cruiser with built out with 3 of these new MC plates, and then 1 of each of the 2 other plates. So you end up with 2.5 million penetrative deflection and a little under 2 million ballistic. And what you see is that this will stop the howitzer from doing damage, kind of its base damage, but that critical hit with the EM rails
EM rails
can get you a 400% damage bonus, and we are pretty sure, not 100% sure, but pretty sure, you can rant on Kixeye again if you want, Hefe, that's on your final damage, not on your base damage, because that's the only thing that explains the what we've seen
with that
yeah.
Cats, yeah.
So that critical amount there, is that it's sitting in 5 fire support?
5 fields. 5 fields. It does not include the faction bonus.
Oh my. Okay.
And I'm assuming that because we figured out the fire fields are multiplicative. I think I went off a little bit on that earlier, but I'm assuming because the fire fields are multiplicative that the tier 7 ballistic bonus that the Howie gets is also multiplicative. So that's the way I calculated that out.
Yeah, I don't actually think I did that when I ran the executioner numbers, so sorry. That's the additive field bonus. So maybe the executioner with the multiplicative bonus will get above that 260 or 2.6 million you need. I don't know.
Yeah, because
I guess
I have some crap. I did the Howie numbers, and it's just so, and Larry did the executioner numbers. So there might be some different, thought processes going on, into getting to these endpoints.
But I guess what we're trying to say here in the end is I don't think these plates are gonna make a unbeatable fleet. I think. Grimace, you said you got hit today, and you didn't really do much damage to it.
Yeah, I haven't heard back from the guy. I don't even know if he'll answer me back, but I asked him if he put the new armor on there. I'm pretty sure he did because he hit me with 2 of the storms and a bus and 2 sloths. And I usually don't have a problem with the storm cruisers. Like, my fleet pretty much melts them. And it did melt his second one, but his first one basically, I ended up, I think, killing it by the end, but it walked all the way through to the back of my base and just kind of laughed at my guard fleet and laughed at the ballistic turret. And but I also, right at the moment, don't have full fields on it. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of waiting today to redo my base, and then I got hit again and hadn't had a chance. But I haven't heard back from him. But I'm assuming that's what's on it because it was like laughing at my base fleet, and normally they just melt. So it looked like it was pretty strong armor, whatever it was.
Okay, well, let's keep rolling.
I think there's an end. I think there's an end point with this. I mean, I was surprised. Was anybody else really surprised to see this armor come out?
No, I'm surprised to see it in the FM, and I'm surprised to see the other.
To see it in Bounty.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see all the PvP stuff in the FM. Like that kind of caught me off guard. I figured it would be in Bounty.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's so people could coin it on quicker. I mean, because I originally saw a progression on the way they were working in my mind, as far as like, once we get out enough damage types that they're dealing and damage type defenses, then it becomes a choice thing, and that's what I'm hoping for with this whole process, that there's a choice going on. But this one seemed a little bit slightly over the top to me, as far as we don't have the comparison with the previous armors, but it's well, we actually do. I mean, if you look down below, we're going from 64K for one armor, and then it's 1.9 million divided by 3. It was a big, up to 10 times, basically 8 or 9 times the deflection on ballistic that occurred with this armor, by having it going from 3 armor deflection types down to 2. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it seemed like a big weird step.
I think it's interesting too that we just got the turret, which I think, relatively speaking, is kind of overpowered. But then they turn right around and give something to, for the most part, counter it unless you have a specific base setup. Right? Am I saying that right?
I think. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I'm so tired of the swings because I was starting to get back into PvP. I had the conquest yard and everything. I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is great. I've despaired so much with the swings now that my Howies are sitting on level 8 turrets. That's how much I don't give a crap now.
Yeah, because I don't understand the motivation
of why they're releasing it, or
no, like the players that would be like, okay, well, this is going to last for, like the Howie. It's going to last for 24 hours. Coin this bad boy on and stop him. And then now if they have this, coin this on, it's going to stop it. It doesn't feel like it's strategical. It just feels like, okay, I'm going to coin this on before you do. I mean, it doesn't feel like in the good old days where you were like, trying to create a design that balanced things. Now it feels like who can coin it on first before they get rid of it in a day or 2.
Well, I think that was like a record, wasn't it? One day. And again, it's not a complete negation of the turret or whatever, but that was just a quick turnaround. You spend all that time getting your points for the turret, and then they come out with an armor immediately after the raid.
Okay. Hey guys, if I can break in for a minute, if you want to see it live on the YouTubes,
okay.
I'm gonna refit some Hydras. Well, I already refit 2, so I'm gonna put the new launcher on. You see, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes to take the old one off.
Okay. And how much is it to add the new one?
0.
Nothing.
18 hours to all 8.
Wow. This is a cool move. I mean, if this is intentional,
Boom.
which, wow. Okay.
I'll do my
This
last
is a
one.
cool move. I'd like this. I'd like this if this is.
Oh, this has got to be a screw up. Here, let's just see. So,
Unless
yeah.
they thought about it.
Come
This
on,
is a
having
cool
this
move.
weapon be 0. Come on.
Well, I mean, unless they think everybody's put them on, they're trying to, because I think they're trying to make up for what's going on with the fucking dragon or the Inferno dragon, depending on which variation that you own. And then the fact that, they didn't release this until the last fucking moment. When was this released? This is released, 3 weeks before the final raid in the cycle. So it ought to be 0 time.
Oh, I should refit my blood also.
Yeah, refit everything. I mean, but this needs to stay. This needs to stay. When they do when they do these escalation weapons, especially when they release them so late in the game, this is a good move. I mean, does anybody think this is a bad move by Kickstarter, or is it?
I don't think
it's
it's
on
intentional.
purpose.
Yeah, I don't think it's intentional at all. So you better hurry
They've
up.
let it go for 24 hours. I mean,
Well,
I don't think they're going to
they've been working with the FM. They were trying to fix the 112s and all those issues today, so they probably didn't have time, and we're hoping people weren't going to notice. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe
I mean, if they
hopefully,
change it,
hey,
people are going to be sideways, right?
if it's legit, cool. Like right on, about time, Kicksai.
Yeah.
Well,
I just used 4 tokens and refit all 4 Hydras.
Yeah, because we talked about this before. The whole idea of the escalation weapons, as opposed to being a replacement, it's an addition. And so the fact that it's the cost of taking the old ones off, it's something that we've talked about on the show many times, as far as this is the way they should do it, as far as the escalation weapons. And I don't have any problem with it. The only problem I have is that if they change it now, after all these people have done it.
Yeah, now these lucky bastards like me versus all the poor saps that, didn't do it right away.
Yeah. Then if it takes the rest of them, 12 days to do it.
Right. It's really unfair. And I was able to just take advantage of it, as you guys all saw.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Well,
but, when other people are able to take advantage of stuff like this and I'm not, I'm pissed. And so as much as I personally like it, Kicksai making errors like this is really bad for the game.
It is for sure.
No, but I'm not certain it's an error, because we've talked about this on the show multiple times. I would just love it if the fact that they've had a change of heart. The fact that the escalation weapons, maybe they're getting rid of them because they're getting rid of the second hall. They're getting rid of other stuff, and they're trying to give us time to do other stuff.
It's a fire
cell. Maybe this is what?
Is it a fire cell?
No, it's not a fire cell. What I'm saying is, like, the escalation weapon is like a bonus. Like, you add it up on top of something else, as opposed to you got to build this brand new.
They're slashing prices everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything must go.
I mean, yeah, seriously.
Hey, if you're a low-end player and you can get 1.1 million FM points, put these on your Punishers, okay?
Yep. Don't say too much before they actually change it. If this was their actual intention, if that was their actual intention, I think it's a cool idea as far as escalating, because it's so late in the game and we have so many things to build. They're introducing they're really appears to really be pushing the chameleon. We have the Inferno dragons that we need to finish off. And a lot of people haven't finished off whatever their second raid fleet is. And it appears that you're better off having your second raid fleet being the Hydra. it's a matter of communicating this to the players. This is the way it works, as opposed to everybody thinks, this is a cheat, this is a hack, this is something wrong that you're doing. I mean, because somebody may report them for doing this to whoever. I mean, it's just a matter of communication, because otherwise it would be
telling
seen as
everyone
a
right now
huge
is go and
boon.
report Larry, right?
What?
I said what you're telling everyone to do is go and report Larry now, right?
Look,
Hacker.
I
Oh
did live on the
yeah. Please
You're-
report Larry. Yeah.
You're gaming the system, dude. You're gaming the system.
We've already
Hey,
figured
you know
out
what? I
he's a day
did.
drinker.
I'll say I spent 4 coin to finish up another build, so I did spend some coin.
Mhm.
You're gaming the system
Yeah.
live
No,
on YouTube.
But
You
we don't
bastard.
know that he's gaming the system. See, that's the problem. But there's no communication. Is he gaming the system, or is this what's intentional? Is this
yeah.
the fact that we've gotten a gift and we don't know it, and this is how it's going to work in the future? Because of just the pure lack of communication that's going on.
So since Larry's the bastard of the night, did he kill Kenny as well? I mean, I'm just kind of curious now.
Leave that
Can
up
neither
to
confirm nor deny whether or not.
There was an existence of a Kenny at all. Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that.
I'll take a lie detector test.
Let's check
Did
the
I
code
have
first.
Kenny?
Alrighty.
Okay.
Alright.
Fun tonight.
Should we move on, or we should talk about this Conqueror armor some more?
Are we done talking about this armor?
Yeah, we're done.
All right. I think. Oh, so campaign. This is back again. Again, I was just able to recycle the slide. March to War is back. Fangtooth, get your Conqueror build tokens.
I can't stand driving those fucking things.
And it's cool that they finally ran this in March. You think they would have originally done this in March?
Oh God.
That would have been, good.
Oh yeah.
But now
Anyway.
we're doing it in March. Yeah.
All right.
But there's some good stuff here.
Yeah. If you don't have the
I'll
other
take-
stuff, Siege Reloader 2, Chaos Chain Gun, and the Kinetic Cannon, these are all good. And Eviscerator, if you don't have high-end Conquerors, all this stuff is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the kinetic motion cannon not probably as good after the release of the
Yeah.
the new howitzer, but
Yeah.
if you don't have the new howitzer, I would definitely slap this in your base.
Fair enough.
I'll take you off for present, Larry.
Okay. I'll quit sharing my screen. I'll just be sitting here with a silly grin on my face. Hydra's ready for next raid, boys.
Yep.
Did I miss which beer we're doing tonight? Did Larry already do the beer?
Yeah.
He's day drinking.
The new
Yeah.
Belgium Day Blazer for the day drinker in all of us.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Day
gonna
drinking
say,
always tires me out.
I'm gonna say goodnight to everybody. I gotta go and eat and get dinner going and everything. So fun show. It was actually a blast. I'll see everybody on Friday, I guess. Have a good
Night,
evening.
George.
Okay.
Night.
Take it easy, George.
George. All right. Well, I'm going to post the link to the right-hand side in case anybody'd like to join us now that George is gone.
And in person, tell me that I'm
He
a
doesn't-
right bastard.
Yeah, he doesn't like noobs. So, once George leaves, then we can invite other people. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did
So,
you say he
in case anybody would
bites?
like to join. I didn't say he bites. I mean, there's rumors associated with that, but I've never seen any police photos or anything of that nature. So,
He's a real
Take it
Marv
with that.
Albert.
yes. Oh my God. I lived in Arlington after that whole thing, and I had to go to the bar from my house. I had to go by the courthouse, and that's where the whole Marv Albert trial was going on. And I would go by, and all the news was there, and I was like,
Yes.
wow.
I
It was
did not
something.
bite that woman on the back.
Yeah. She had it coming. She had it coming.
Yes.
So, okay. I'll do the other link. Sorry. Google and they're still having issues here. Everybody on the right-hand side, try this link. And that might work better. Because there's an invite link and there's just a URL. And for some reason on Facebook, the URL is much better than the other ones. So,
Hello.
how you doing there, Mike?
Hi.
Hey.
Second link worked.
Cool.
Sweet.
All righty. All right. Well, the second link's in case anybody else would like to join. I know Ren was on earlier, but maybe he got, whatever.
Yeah.
So how was your raid and how's your experience been recently, Mike?
My raid came out really good. Not having too much trouble finding targets for the FM like you guys were saying. And
So there's like 2 people in your sector, right?
well, there's not that many, no. But actually, I have to go to other sectors sometimes to get the 115. And I just claimed the.
Are you finding those on your locator, or are you?
Yes.
Finding them elsewhere.
Locator.
Okay.
And I just claimed the 117S.
Yeah, you might want to get those refit.
Oh, that's long in the past already.
Oh, okay.
Except I hit the wrong button once, and it cost me 37 coins. 37 coins.
Oh. Whoops.
I didn't have to be honest.
Maybe that's Kicksai's devious plan. Get us doing it real quick, and then we'll just like coin by accident.
But it's like only 7 because they gave me 30 today because the game was screwed up and I put in a ticket. So I don't know.
Okay.
And yeah. So cool.
So,
but I'm wondering.
And Ed, go ahead.
Oh, you got
guys.
Go ahead. So go ahead with that.
No, I was gonna just ask Ed how his week is gone.
Oh.
Pretty good. I had a really good raid. It's probably the best raid I've had so far. Got everything that I wanted, needed, plus.
Cool.
So I had a couple of questions on. And if you want me to ask, I can ask them now.
Yeah.
Okay, good. On the Hydra, where the weapon gives us that range, right, of 70 to 95. And there's times that they drop a emitter in your zone, in the zone where you're the donut.
Yep.
What do you think it's worthwhile putting a launcher in there, like an insurrection launcher on one of those spots to cover that gap?
So I usually kind of figure out the situations where that happens because those emitter drops are predictable both in time and space.
Okay.
So once you get a pattern down where that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So I've just dealt with it by figuring out a path where that doesn't happen.
Okay. In the 60s, I didn't have my Hydras complete. I had no problem autoing those. No problem at all. They stayed together. They autoed. They did a great job. In the 80s, you better be driving them. That's off topic, off of what we were talking about. But
yeah,
in that case, you would have to have your path down.
Yeah, I mean, the Hydras are not intended to be an auto fleet. So I know some people were doing it, but I sure wasn't.
Neither were the Buckies.
I didn't have any problem with the Buckies.
Yeah, when I was doing the campaigns, I found that I was doing better on auto than driving. I think it was because they spread out a little bit on auto, but
No,
That's just a fact.
I was making a reference back to a Hefe thing that he posted a while back with all the moderators, and he's not here,
that.
so he didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Kickside people are dumb sometimes.
That can get you banned.
So
From YouTube's?
No, no, not from the YouTubes.
So the issue with them, the little buoys getting dropped inside the minimum range. From what I've seen, a few people have put a squall launcher on
That's
the ones I saw was every ship, or at least 4 of them, and they were taking those out, and then they could auto.
That was kind of my question. Yeah.
I see. If you're on auto, then you're kind of stuck with what you got. Okay. Yeah.
Do you think you need that many?
I have no idea.
Okay. And I did have a second question. That's special that gives you the extra multi-shot and the the special.
Mm-hmm. Launcher system.
Yeah. That over flechette feeder. That's the only thing I have on mine that looks logical to replace with.
Right. So, I mean, you're using flechette feeder. I'm using autoloader 4. And that's what I would replace it over.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you just don't know. Because, we were kind of saying it in the bulk of the show, too. Right now, my Hydras, kill stuff in one volley.
Yeah.
So I don't need the reload so much. But you don't know what's coming. If some target is coming that's got a huge amount of damage, or even like a tight cluster of targets where Shockwave is going to take them all out, that launcher system will be really nice. I mean, like in some situations, I think in the S target, I would take advantage of the reload. I'd kind of be sort of driving in. It's hard to explain, but sort of all the way over on the left side of the S target when you're kind of coming around, and there's like sort of 4 of them in a semicircle. I'd end up kind of engaging all 4 at once. But I'd have countermeasures taking out everything but the cannon. So even then, taking longer to kill wouldn't be a big deal because I just target the cannon.
Got it.
I don't know. I'm just thinking this through. All right, so here's how I look at it now. I've got the tokens, and my Hydras are done. So I don't really need to refit launcher system now. I could wait until the raid.
I think it's exactly what I was thinking too. Same thing. You can wait and see if it's needed, and then you can just bang it out real quick.
Yeah. Well, thanks for screwing up, Kixeye.
Well, they need to make it stick. I mean, it's been broadcast that this is, if they change it, they're going to lose a lot of players, or at least for some period of time. They can't change things this late, after it's been out for this period of time. It just feels dirty.
Yep.
So.
Yep, it's bad for the game.
Yep. So. Anything else we have to talk about on open air, or we can all listen to the uncensored version of my rant in the after show.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. I'll use other words. So, well, in case anybody'd like to join us, the Google Hangouts is still on in the chat. It's the last thing. So feel free to jump in, and good night, everybody. And just go out and claim the D17 or whatever it is, and
Get your
attach it to
launchers on.
everything. Yeah, get your launcher on, whatever that may mean. So good night, people.
Good night.
Good night.